Good morning, y'all. It's Brian today at Hollis Farms. Came down for a quick afternoon. Had a midday afternoon. I get down here for a couple of hours. Had a couple of food plots. And we never did really get sprayed real good. We're gonna plant some Buckbuster seed blend in here. So I got the vertical tiller here. I don't know if y'all have ever seen us use this. I don't know a lot of technicalities about it, but it's a little bit less aggressive than a disc. Use it to, won't cut quite as deep as a disc. Help to rot this grasses on top, prepare the seed bed, got the roller on the back that'll kind of level it. May end up, depends on how this turns up. May have to go over with a do-all before we plant, but we may not. Making straighten the gangs out on this and then run it back over it with less angle. That may do it. But anyway, we're gonna do that. This is the field y'all seen us talk about in the past. Got the sawtooth oaks. I'll turn around and show you the sawtooths that we planted way back, early 90s. These trees have done really good. You kind of had a low area where it falls off this food plot. Just a perfect edge, perfect hunting to hang over the food plots. The deer love them. It's always a good early season plot. We killed some real nice deer here during the early bow season. So see them here. These are the sawtooths. Be hard pressed to go out there and find a place where one didn't die. Had almost 100% survival. Those trees have gotten big. They're big enough to hang stands in now. And I remember when we planted them, probably they're almost 30 years old. Anyway, we'll get this food plot right here. This plot goes down here and makes an X that stands in the middle of it right there. We'll go over it a few times and see what it looks like. Then we'll decide what we've got to do next. Y'all can kind of see how it's cutting there. It doesn't really cut deep like a disc. It cuts just deep enough to disturb the top few inches, kill this grass. Clump it up a little bit because of this so big grass, but thick grass. But I think we'll have to just watch it. May have to put the do-all on it to level it a little bit more so it won't be so rough when we plant. But we'll either do that or put the grain drill right on it. But seems to be doing pretty good. So we're back at it finished up. Just got to finish this one leg of the field. You see back there, the field's got four, kind of a cross or an X, whatever you want to call it, with that ranching in the middle. Not going all the way to the end of this field. Stop about 100 yards from the box stands where we'll plant. Have a good You don't have too long a shot. The longer you make a field, the longer they're gonna come out at the very end every time. So I've got to make a couple more passes here. A couple more on the way out. Looks like this thing is doing it pretty good, but it's real grassy. Like I said, we didn't get to spray or burn this down with any chemicals, so having to do it that kind of the old-fashioned way. Knock this one out, and I don't know if y'all remember, this is the food plot that early last season I videoed Presley shooting a nice buck down one of these lanes with rifle. It's one of the first deer Maggie tracked and found for us. Also, this field is where Jake killed his biggest buck ever with a bow, well, with anything, about a 164, I think. 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a few more years than that. But Presley also killed a. In fact, Presley shot it out of that ranch king right there 2 or 3 years ago. A Pope and Young buck, about 132 with his bow. So it's a good early spot. These sawtooth oaks are dropping like crazy. It's unbelievable how well they produce. And I tell you, we planted them in the early 90s. They started producing probably 20 or more years ago. And I never remember a year when they didn't really produce. So when I get through this field, I'll hop down, I'll show you all these sawtooths. You gotta see it to believe it. All right, y'all, before I get away from this field, I tell you I want to show you these sawtooths. Turn around, y'all won't believe this. These, like I said, these trees are about 28 to 30 years old. They should have been putting on acres a little over 20 years, but it's mid-September. They fall just a few weeks early. I wish they'd fall in early October when deer season's open, but I can hear them falling now. Y'all take a look at this. Acorns on the ground like gravel. Look at that. They're a big acorn. There's 2 different varieties of sawtooths. The gobbler, which is this smaller one, and then there's another one. Some of them are bigger, some of them almost big as a golf ball. But if you're not familiar with a sawtooth, they have a covering over them. It looks kind of like a gumball in a gum tree. Let's see if I can find one. Here's some still on the limb here. Light right where y'all can see them. See them here. These are still green, so they're gonna be falling here before long. The trees are just loaded with them. These overhanging limbs, you got to be careful. You ride by on a 4-wheeler or an open tractor, you get knocked out. It's like a bunch of golf balls hanging in the trees. Good stuff, and the deer like them, and it's lots of them for a tree so small. Let's see, everywhere you look, the ground's just covered with them. All right, I'm gonna wrap up this field, get the other little one, see what we run into. Some hogs been in here rooting too. I think Presley actually killed about a dozen hogs in here this summer with his rifle. Slipping here in the evenings, but may end up, this is one spot we talked about putting the trap, may end up doing that one day too. All right, y'all, this is the other little old plot I'm gonna try to hit right quick. You can see it's a lot more grassy than the other one. Pretty low over here. It holds a lot of moisture even during this dry summer. It may take a few passes. We're going to hit it a lick and at least knock this grass back or it'll start to die. And then we'll see, like I said a while ago, probably going to have to go over this field and the other field with the do-all one more time and then wait on some moisture to get ready to plant. Let's get this one knocked out. We'll be done for the evening. Alright, y'all, we got it cut up pretty good. This field is pretty grassy, but because it's so small and the way you have to keep turning and making loops back and forth, just keep hitting it at a different angle, and it cuts it up pretty good. The green grass that's there now will be dead in the next few days. It's gonna be hot and it'll dry up. But the key to it is the field's really pretty smooth. Not a lot of big clods in it. The other field had bigger clods in it, I think because I didn't make a bunch of passes. So I may or may not have to go over this one with the do-all. I think it's really in better shape. I think it's ready to plant. But you got to watch if the dirt's rolled up in big clods. The drill has a little bit of trouble covering that small seed, or if you got your seed bed a little more loose to cover properly, you won't have to worry about going too deep or not covering it because the furrow stayed open. So I'll probably go next time after 2 or 3 more days, run the do-all over everything one time. That'll really chop it up and level it. Then we're going to wait till we got some rain coming. So, and got the buckbuster seed on standby, waiting for the rain. Put it in the drill and put it out. But appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget about our whitetail deer hunt raffle. That's going to be coming up, drawing in early November. Don't forget to get your tickets on our website. Buy $25 a piece, or 5 for $100. If you buy the 5 package, you get a free hat too. We got some new hat colors and all we're sending out to folks that buy tickets. So don't forget about that, and subscribe and come back tomorrow. Thank y'all.